Familia, I'm Poetic.
And I'm Mr. M2J.
Welcome to the Latinos Unfiltered podcast, where we kick back, sip our cafecito, and dive into the heart of it all.
From the rhythm of our favorite Latino beats to the real talk about what's shaking our community, we're here to keep it sin filtros. No holding back, mi gente.
So whether you're chilling at home or just stuck in traffic or maybe out doing something at the store, wherever it is that you're at, join familia. Let's laugh, learn, maybe even spill a little cheese on the way. I know you guys all like to have, find out what the tea is, you know what I'm saying? So no holding back, mi gente. Let's make sure we have a great time because life's too short not to have a good one.
So grab your AirPods, your Beats, your Android headphones, and turn up that volume because we are about to get unfiltered. So bienvenidos to the vibrant world of Latinos Unfiltered, Chapter 2.
And as he said his AirPods, his thing, but I'm going to be real with y'all real quick. When we said that, I just want y'all to know the reason we make sure we include all that is because everyone has different kinds. But the biggest reason I want to just let you know is the iPhone sucks.
I agree to that.
Oh, man. So, actually, I have a topic thinking off of that. So, you ever seen those videos where people do, que se llama? They have like a guy goes up to a female and he's like, he's a 10, but, and then it's something, and then they rate to see how he is, right? So it's like,
yeah, I've seen those.
So I saw one, and the dumbest shit I've ever seen, bro. He's a 10, but he owns an Android phone. Oh, he's a 1. I wouldn't date out an Android. You need to get your money, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, shorty, I hope you understand this, but first of all, if you're choosing a guy based on what kind of phone he has, then you're not worth it. That's just facts. That's facts. Because that's pathetic.
Facts. All the way facts.
And I'm talking to all you females out there who think like that. I'm going to tell you to your face because, like we said, this is Latinos Unfiltered. If you think, if a man has this kind of a phone or this kind of, I'm not going to date him, he's like a 1 or something like that, you're pathetic because guess what? In the end, you may or may not be beautiful, but beauty only lasts a certain time. It's the personality that matters. And regardless, here's the thing. If we're going to spit facts here, Android makes a good amount of things for Apple. And even then, even if they didn't, Apple phones aren't even as expensive as Android. Androids are probably more expensive. And big thing for y'all. See that? The Type-C cable? We've had this for years. And y'all,
I know.
We've had this for years. And you guys are just getting this in 2024. So every time we come out with a feature, we've had it for years.
2023. Remember, don't know. 2023.
Bro, we've had so many of the every time we have features, like the past like 2 weeks, it's been longer than that, but like there's been so many new features that I've seen on the iPhones. Oh man, we just got this coming out. It's like y'all realize that we've had that like 8 years ago. Like we've been had this. So y'all the ones who are like old on technology. And second, the other crazy thing is that like people are like, oh, I can't date a guy who has the green bubble, whatever. Well, first of all, the funny thing about that is that that's a preference. If you don't like the green bubble, you can literally change it so it's not a green bubble. But iPhone users don't know that because they're not technology savvy. Not all. Preference. Yeah, that's something you can change. It's
not a preference. Do you know what they're using? Is that they're using the old back in the day system?
Well, yeah,
but they haven't updated it. They haven't updated it. That's why everybody else that uses any other type of phone can have regular text messages, and theirs is different because they're still using an outdated system for their own text messages, which is kind of wild that they're paying thousands of dollars for a phone that still uses old technology when it comes down to your text messages.
So it's old technology. So then old technology, nice company. Oh, celebrities have iPhone, but your thing is back in 2007 while we're already in the future. Who's the better phone? The way I see it, okay, this is how I see it. She's a 10, but she has an iPhone. She has a 10, but she has an iPhone. Get with it. It's 2024. Not only that, but I'm not choosing somebody. If your worth is based on what someone has physically, you're gonna hate life. It's like with all these females. Like I saw one. I think we were talking about it a while back, but there were some videos where females were like, they asked females, what does a guy have to make for you to date him?
Oh
and or
no,
to give him a
I
shot.
see
One
those.
female was like
Oh,
500,000, another one was like he has to make at least 200,000 a year. Majority, and I've out of curiosity, I've looked at all these videos, and very few. I think there's one girl who's like, she was. There's a few girls, and it was crazy because I was watching hundreds of videos, and it was where only like I want to say 8 females that I saw were like, oh, 60, 70,000 if possible. But, I understand, as long as he treats me right and he does right, it doesn't really matter how much he makes as long as we're off and we're well, we're good. But most of the females were like, unrealistic numbers. And the guy was like, did you know that the average 30-something-year-old, 30 to 40-year-old makes 35 to 45,000 a year? The one female who said he needs to make at least 500,000, and she didn't make that anywhere near that money. She's like, how much do you make? She's like, oh, I make 60,000 a year. And he's like, and your man, you won't date him unless he makes 500. She's like, yeah. She's like, why would I date anyone with less? And she's like, and he's like, the average 30 to 40-year-old makes 35 to 45,000 a year. She's like, oh, he's like, the top 1% of 30 to 40-year-olds make, I think it was 337,000. That's the top 1%. Everybody in the U.S., unless you 1%, you broke as hell. You ain't making that kind of money. You know what I mean? So females,
I saw one of those videos, bro.
Yeah,
And the
bro.
funny thing about it, it was just hilarious because she was beyond delusional. You
Bro.
are extremely delulu. So, she was over there talking about like my boyfriend makes over $500,000 on this and the other, and then they tell her like, so what your boyfriend works on? Oh, he's a manager at McDonald's. Somebody's gaslighting you, girl, because you literally sitting down here with a guy that probably makes $20,000 a year.
No, I think managers actually get paid more. Wait, hold on. What do managers at McDonald's make per year? Because I think I remember they do make a decent amount, but it's nowhere near that. According to ZipRecruiter, the majority of McDonald's management salaries range from 50,500 to 85,500 per year, with the top earners making.
When I'm talking about it, no, he was not even a manager, bro. That dude looked like he was
earners were making 117,000 annually. So, Shorty, first of all, your man ain't making that much. He ain't making that kind of money.
The dude was not even probably a manager. The dude was still probably flipping burgers and frying fries in the damn fryer.
Yeah, that's not no.
Dude was probably making $25,000 a year, bro.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Even then, it's like a job's a job.
Of course,
a job's a job. You work, you make a job, get your money, get your bag. You feel me? I don't care if you're cleaning. My dad always taught me, I don't care if you're cleaning toilets. If you got a family and this is a sad part. It's like, and this is not just Hispanics. I'm pretty sure there's. I know for a fact there are white people who do it, black people who do it, Indian, you name it. But I know for me personally, as a Latino, when you do go to McDonald's, what's the majority? The major thing that you normally see is Latinos. Sometimes black people, and then Indian and black. Indian I haven't seen as much, but black, yes.
Well,
but
I think it depends on the area where you live, though, because
I
think it's based on the area.
Yeah, but like the thing is, no matter where you go, no matter what area it is, though, the one culture you always see is Hispanic. You always see Hispanics there, and the crazy thing is like they don't like. I've spoken to a lot of Hispanics back in the day when I used to work at McDonald's when I was younger, when I was a kid. And I'm like, why are you here? And back in the day, it's crazy because like back in the day, McDonald's used to be considered like a bad job. Like you don't go there unless you're a high school student, and that's it. You're not supposed to be a grown adult there. That's a dead and loser job. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to pay you great. It's not the greatest job in the world. But if you have a job where you have to support your family and you need to support people who you love, you take whatever you got to get. Obviously, you want to get the best job you can, but it's one of those where it shouldn't matter, a male or female, because men are, shallow too, male or female. It shouldn't matter what your spouse is working as a job, because if they're putting food on the table, they're making you happy and you're good with it, who cares? There's one thing I've always envied, I'm not gonna lie to you, is I've seen and it's usually like, I don't want to say like, yeah, I'm going to say it, like usually nerdy white guys usually is what I see. And I'm jealous of them sometimes. I'm jealous of them because I've seen a lot of them working like McDonald's or a gas station or usually like CVS, Walgreens, stuff like that. And they're happy as hell. I've seen a few guys at Walmart. He was talking to this guy. He's like, one lady was like, oh, do you even like working here? Because, she was like, she doesn't want to have to shop there because, Walmart has been known not to necessarily treat their people great. He's like, I love it. He's like, I come here, I do my job. It's simple. I help people with electronics and stuff sometimes. I just do whatever I'm supposed to do. I go home and I'm good. I make a paycheck. And they're happy. And he's like, it's not about He's like, yeah, do I want to make more? Of course I can. Am I going to try to make more in the future in my life and do something? Of course. But he's like, why be mad at something when at least I'm alive, I'm breathing? And it's like, it's true. It's like, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what job you have, as long as it's, they're treating
Is
you properly at the job and you're
it,
loving it.
it is the outlook on your life. I think
Yeah.
that's what sets up everything because I saw a video. It says, okay, uh, do you think money is number one? And people are like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, no. So would you rather have 1,000, $1 million or $500 million, but then you die the next day? They say, no, 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 I won't take that. I said, okay, then life is more important or more valuable than money. So
Yeah.
every day that you open those eyes, bro, it's a blessing. It's another opportunity for you to make something. And the
Facts.
fact that you woke up and hundreds of thousands of people haven't, bro, count yourself blessed because you dictate how your day looks. You know what I'm saying? You can't let everybody outside or any circumstance outside just dictate how your day is gonna go. You gotta dictate it. You gotta take control of your life. That's the bottom of it. That's why they can make $20,000 a year and still live happy. Than somebody that make $2 billion and they live miserable because they got all the money, but they're not happy with however the life is running. So they might be sick, have some type of disease or something like that, or they're being investigated by the feds because they did something they're not supposed to. Whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. Like fun fact about something real quick. Now that you were starting to mention about the whole thing about McDonald's or whatever, since I've been in this country, I have never ever worked in a fast food restaurant. That is crazy. My
Really?
first, yeah, my first job actually was at a warehouse, the returns department. Is this like wholesale store called Brandsmart? For those who live in Florida, you guys already know what I'm talking about. It was Brandsmart USA. I work at the returns department there. I was a clerk, and then I was working back and forth between the returns department and the warehouse, like moving stuff or whatever. I had never ever touched. I don't know. In my own personal like checkbook in life, I think that's
Yeah.
a win for me because I never been on a McDonald's and I never work in a fast food restaurant at any given point at all, at all, at all.
That's funny. Yeah. I got my first job when I was 14 and it was out of
Mm.
McDonald's and I was making money. I was homeschooled at the time. I got in trouble in school, so I got homeschooled. And then, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened, but I got homeschooled and then I ended up being home. So I ended up working because I would finish my school early. So mom was like, "You need to go get a job." That's for a later story. But I had to get a job to pay back the parents. And then
Ooh.
yeah, it was bad. I had to pay back the parents, and so I got a job, but I was 14, making like 700-800 a week, bro. Like I was balling. Like I had
Oh
money all the
man, no,
time,
back in the day, that was balling money,
bro.
bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's money, especially at 14, bro. That was money. So I used to work at
Now,
McDonald's,
how,
and that's
something? Now that you mentioned that, though, like I kind of worked at the same time. Like I was being a little bit of a mess in school too. I mean, I didn't get to be put on like house school back in Panama, but my mom made me work over the summer, and I was working at a car wash because said you're gonna pay me
mhm.
for what I wasted in school. I
Yeah.
mean, she was not. I really didn't pay her back. She was just holding the money back or whatever. But she kind of like you use some money on myself. You're like
I
you
pay
work
my
for the
parents
money.
back. They made
So,
sure I paid them for it.
so yeah, she kind of just wanted me to learn a lesson. So I used to like I used to get up. That's how I kind of got used to like waking up early in the morning. I mean,
Yeah.
the schools back in Panama, it was kind of funny because they had the morning shift and they had the afternoon shift. So you go to school from 6 to 12, and then from 12 to 6. It was two shifts. People always wanted to get like the available spots in the morning because then you got the whole afternoon for yourself.
But 6 o'clock in the morning,
And
though.
at 6 o'clock, that's why I never have a problem with this job. Talking about waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be at work at 5. It's not a
That's
problem
crazy.
for me. It's not a problem. I can literally sleep like 2 hours and be energized to work from 5 o'clock to like 9 o'clock, and then go back at
Yeah.
like 1:50 to like 5 o'clock. So I'm good. I'm good with that. But yeah, I never did that. And then, but I did work in the car wash for the summer. I mean, it was fun. I mean, I was bad though because what I used to do. Don't tell them that, they probably don't remember my face. But I used to grab the vacuum cleaner, the industrial ones, and I used to like, you had to vacuum inside the cars,
Yeah.
whatever. And I used to go into the cup holders, and I used to suck all the quarters and dimes and stuff out of there. And, and then when they leave, I would just open the big old thing and take all the change or whatever, and I
Like all
suck
the
it.
change.
To go to the corner store or whatever, and they you like buy me the like, skimo pies and like chips
Oh
and
my
stuff.
gosh, that's funny.
Oh my god, I was so bad back then.
Oh my gosh.
I've
Oh,
changed.
that's good.
I have changed, people. I have changed.
Bro, yeah, I had a lot of jobs growing up. And that's the crazy thing too, is a lot of kids nowadays, they don't really have jobs like that. Like going back to the McDonald's thing, like, bro, that was my first job. And before that, I actually worked at a supermarket for like a few days, and then I got fired because I was 14. I grabbed a soda from one of like the thing that had a bunch of sodas, but I had paid for it, and they're like, "You didn't pay for it." I'm like, "No, I definitely did." They're, well, we don't see that you paid for blah blah blah. So I got let go. My mom's like, "What?" And I'm like, "No, I paid for the soda." Like they tried to get me on it. It was at a supermarket, and then I got fired like a few days later, and that sounds like, whatever. I'll go to McDonald's and apply for that. But I ended up showing the receipt that they found the receipt, and they found, oh, we're so sorry. Yeah, I'm good. I'm done. I'm not working here. I'm out of
That's
here. Like,
crazy.
y'all were that quick. I'm done with this. I went to McDonald's, and I worked there, and the manager's name at the time was Mahmood. He was an Indian guy. And that's McDonald's that I made money and I got in trouble because they just say there was there's a lot of Latinos that worked at McDonald's, especially back in the day. Like we had a lot of like people from like Guatemala and stuff like that, and that's where my first girl was from. But it wasn't good. Like thinking about it now, for me as a guy, I personally don't care. So here's a question for everybody here: do you think, as I feel like most men are going to agree with this, men is what I'm saying. But like, so I was,
Let's
yeah,
be specific, men.
be specific here. You feel me? But like, I was at this time when I was working at McDonald's, I was probably about, I want to say 15, 16, and there's this fine a little bit of a butterface. You feel me? A little bit of a butterface, but it was pretty enough. Not pretty enough. That sounds horrible, but she was pretty. But it's a little bit of a butterface. But she beautiful body. My mom did not like her. Did not like her. My mom's like, you better not be. Because the girl would always talk to me, and I'm smooth now, but I was smooth, bro. And I was 15, so I was smooth, bro. This is what people might disagree on. As a man, if we get an older woman, we have no issue. Now, if I'm, if I'm 25 years old and I get a girl who's in the 30s or 40s, it's not considered anything bad, right? It's like, oh, well, she likes your younger men. That's it. It's whatever. It's considered nothing bad. Here's where women might disagree on this. So I'm going to be real with y'all. Yeah, me and that girl were a thing. I was 15, 16. She was 22.
Where's she at? She going to jail. She going to jail. She's going to jail.
22. She was 22. My mom did not
But
like her.
something is kind of crazy though, because in the Hispanic culture, I think that's somewhat normalized, and even now in the American culture as well, it's kind of like a double standard, if anything, because if a guy does it,
he's a creep.
Yeah, he's a creep, he's a pedo, he's a whatever. So, but I did notice like a lot. Like back then, women like, oh my god, he's my boyfriend, this and that, and then like you was just a little kid or whatever, and I'm like, I'm gonna marry you and this and that, and they used to flirt hard, and I remember that because say like, okay, watch this. For those who don't know, you see the color of my eyes, right? They were like, you see that, right? You guys can see that, right? Okay, cool. Now, when I was younger, my eyes used to change colors. They used to go from a light blue to green, and then they used to be hazel. And sometimes the colors will mix. Even now, sometimes the color mix like between the hazel and the green, and sometimes my wife's like, "Oh my god, your eyes look so pretty today." But they used to change colors, and they be like, "Oh my god, I can't wait until I have a baby with you." My guys, we're talking about adults. That was my mom's friend. They were in the like 20s, like 25, 26. Because my mama had me at 18. So we talk about 20-something-year-old girls. And bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Me being a little kid, I was infatuated with those things. Like, oh my god, she's gonna be she's so fine and da 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 da. But then with the flip side, if a guy would have done that to a little girl, like, oh my God, you're going to be my girlfriend, you're going to be my wife, they'd be like, oh, get out of here, you pedo. What are you trying to talk to my kids like that?
Now,
So
granted, we're not saying it's right for a guy to like a younger girl, especially underage. But we're saying is it's more normalized, and it's more normalized on one end than it is on the other.
yeah. It's
Women get away
definitely
with a lot of stuff when it comes to the opposite way of doing that. We're not saying we agree with it. It's completely wrong regardless. But
But
we're saying is like,
it was a lot more normal way back
yeah,
then, because if I recall correctly, back then a woman became a woman when she first had her period and stuff like that. So you had like 30, 40, 50-year-old man, getting married to this 16-year-old woman because now she can birth and all this sort of stuff. And it was normal back then, and some cultures even practice that still.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, in the American culture, no, you gotta be over, and even then, like, as a man now is being so like inputted into our culture that if you're 30, you're not going to look for 18-year-old. If you're 30, you're not going to look for a 20-year-old or whatever. Now, like, you probably start trying to look closer to your age than
or
down, because
older. Yep.
because now is people kind of like frown upon it. I mean, there's cases and there's a lot of videos and there's been stuff on television where you're like, oh yeah, I'm his wife and she's like 25, but the dude is like 60 years old or something like that. And they're like, it's not because of the money, it's because I love him, kind of thing. So, you have those exceptions, but
Yep.
then people be glued to the TV like, oh my God, what's kind of that? That's weird. But it's not, it
Well, if a
wasn't.
female does it, it's like a normal thing. Because I say, oh, that's like, oh, they're together, it's whatever. But if it's an older female, younger guy, it's like, oh, she's good looking enough that she can get a younger guy. No one considers it bad. But if a guy does it, oh, he just trying to still be young. He can't get girls his age, blah blah. It's like, since when? If I fell in love with like a 22, 23-year old at my age now, people are like, oh, why is she so young? What are you guys gonna talk about? It's gonna be different, blah blah. But if a female does it, it's okay. So it's like these little double standards that are kind of like,
Well,
it's kind of crazy
now
like how it comes on.
I'll say that at this point in time, yes. Why are you guys going to talk about? Because we talk about like the gap in the generation and is huge. And
Substantial.
in this, in I say that to say this though. Back then, even though they were younger than the older man, the culture was still the same. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now we talking about like stuff that we know that this younger generation will be lost, clueless. Like, do you guys know what a payphone is? Of course you guys don't, because you guys got cell phones. So
Yeah.
there's different things that we can sit down and talk about throughout the whole time on this podcast that a lot of the younger generation, very few, but a lot of them would not know what we're talking about. It's like, what is that? What is this? What is the other one? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of crazy because when my kids go to high school now, they do have retro days, and we're talking about people celebrating things about the 80s. Bro, when I hear that, it just makes me feel some type of way, because it's like, what in the world are you talking about retro? I'm still alive. I am
Are you,
alive. What are you talking
are you
about
ready for this? Are you ready for this? I
retro?
heard on TikTok this kid and his mom was like, I realize I'm old when my child tells me, Mom, that's disgusting. You were born in the 1900s. Bro, I was like, bro, I feel so damn old, my dude. I was like,
Yo,
nah, man,
bro.
come on now.
That's crazy. That's just
Can you
crazy.
believe it? There's kids who were actually born in the 2000s. We were literally born in the 1900s, my dude. We were
Bro.
born. I feel old, bro. And
Not
the thing is, I
technically
feel
the
young.
1900s, bro. It's 1980s, bro. Like, let's get that factual. Not the 1900s. We were not back then when it was 91900. We were not 1980. Like, get that through your head. This is
We were
not that
closer to the
far back.
2000s. You feel me? We're closer to the 2000s.
It's like, why
Oh
you
my
trying to
god.
make me feel older than what I'm not over a century old, bro. I am just 36, 37,
Oh my
38,
gosh, that's funny.
39. No, it's not. I
Uh,
mean, I mean, I would not even consider myself old, to be honest with you, because back then people used to live 200 years, and it was normal. Now it's like you reach 80, like you're old as hell. I'm like,
Oh
what?
yeah, 100%. So yeah, the biggest thing is, do you guys think? Well, here's the first question: do you guys think that? And I'm pretty sure most people will agree to it, that there's a double standard on dating when it comes from older men to younger women, and then older women to younger men. And why do you think there's that thing? That's the first
Yeah,
question. Please write in the comments below. Let us know what you think. But the
please
biggest
do.
thing also is like, yeah, I feel like it's kind of it is crazy because like especially lately, you've noticed I've noticed in the past few years. I don't know, and I'm not being like I'm not trying to be like, I guess I don't want to say cultural, but it's very prevalent. It's very normal, not normal, but it's like a very common thing. I've seen a lot on the news where in high schools and even middle schools where these beautiful, beautiful white women who are teachers are sleeping with their students. Like you can't get a dude you're and most of them, there's a few that weren't married, they had boyfriends and stuff or were single, but like most of them were married, and it's like you went to a 14-15 year old instead of going to a person your age. Like, is it that? And you're not ugly, so what is it that turned you on? I mean, the only thing I can think of is maybe she's like, oh well, they're younger, so
I'm gonna, I'm gonna tell you a
it's
secret.
grooming. It's
It's a
grooming.
it's the hormones in the goddamn chicken. It's
Yeah.
it's just crazy because honestly, 15 years old at when we were 15, they look 15.
Yeah.
15 years old now, like you gotta ask for ID because some of these girls, and
And
not all of
even
them,
then, you
and
need
not
to
all
make
of
sure
them,
that idea is
yeah,
real because
yeah,
people become fake
because
IDs, bro.
it's crazy because and that's like, yo, these kids out here are being jailbait, and the thing about it is that they are so nowadays they are so sexually active, and
Oh yeah.
honestly a lot of these kids don't even care if they get with an adult, to be honest with you. They don't they're like, oh, but he's the adult and this and the other and the third, and by all means it's wrong, but the fact of the matter is that this kid still will go ahead and talk to a grown-ass person and be like, I like you,
Hmm.
I want this,
Yeah,
like you looking fine, like I want to do this, that, and whatever. That
bro. Some of these dudes, their balls ain't even dropped, and they're trying to get. But this is the thing. This is where it's kind of a. I don't want to say double standard, but like as a man, it's one of those things where like I had a teacher like in my junior year when I was 16, and she was fine. I'm talking about like good God Almighty, she was just gorgeous, bro. Beautiful. Even the teachers were there, like, yeah, she's fine. She was a history teacher, so you could choose. We had a lot of history teachers there, so you could choose what class you wanted to be in, bro. I think in that class she had maybe like 3, 4 females per class, and the rest of the class like
was
20 guys
guys.
or 20 guys, bro. She was. I mean, I can't remember her name for the life of me, but like, bro, first of all, um, she's packing on the rack and packing on the ass, bro. I mean, she was like I would not I wouldn't be surprised. I would be because she was very respectable the way she dressed, but she was one of those that she knew how to dress professionally, but she made it look good, bro. I'm
Mhm.
gonna be with you. As a 15-year-old, like from the mind of a young kid seeing a female that fine, and this is a crazy thing. I was 16, she was only 23, 24. So
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not really much of an age difference. You feel me? So for me, if she would have been like, yo, you want to get together? As a dude, hell, any guy who sees
Yeah,
a
I mean,
fine female,
you were a teenager. You hormonal as
I'll do
hell.
it. Yeah, you know what
you
I'm saying? Like,
you hormonal as hell. So he's like
yeah,
any type of play. You like, I'm in
you know what
it.
I'm saying?
Type of
Like,
thing.
I'm not. And then if we like, let's say she would have done it, which I don't think she would have been that kind of person, but let's say we would have done that, right? She would have said, yeah. It's one of those. As a guy, this is what confused me. I'm not going to snitch. I'm trying to hit that all day. You feel me? All day, I'm trying to hit that. But like being older, it's like, yeah, I can see where it's definitely like the issue of like, why are you looking for someone younger when you can get someone your age and you're not ugly at all? So you should be able to get someone easily. I think it's like a thrill for them, but it's also like, what in your mind is that sick that you have to get someone who's that young and you
Yeah.
can't get someone in your own age? You know, it's just. But lately, I've seen a lot of white teachers, young ones and good looking, who are married and everything, and they're just going for these high schoolers and middle schoolers.
And I gotta and this, in a way is also because of social media, because everybody is connected now. So it's just as easy as a kid looking for your face online and looking for your name or your last name or whatever you use in school, and then they find you online.
Yep.
And then they start sending you crazy messages and stuff like that. And I mean, let's be honest, some of these people is really desperate for some type of attention, because you can be a grown ass person that
Yeah.
you have a beautiful face, but then you be lonely as hell, and then you
Yep.
just got that one opportunity, and then you be
Mm-hmm.
going off the rails and doing all kind of crazy stuff. And then
Yep.
you get yourself in trouble, because guess what? Everything you put it in the internet, and it never disappears. It
Yeah.
never goes away. There's always a way to find it, you know. So then you have these parents that are like, "Hey, who you talking with, Timmy? I am talking to Mrs. This, Mrs. Whatever." So
So
then they
the
go,
name, I think
you know,
nowadays it would be more like Skylar or like
whatever the name may be,
weird name.
there's like all the messages are there. All
Yeah.
even if you try to delete the messages, they just go by recent deleted history. So then you see
Yeah.
all the messages that they've been sending back and forward, and this and the other and the third.
Mm-hmm.
But then the one to blame is going to be the adult, even if the kid was the one initiated. Like I
Yeah.
myself have heard kids that are in middle school having some extremely wild conversations
Oh yeah. Oh
in
yeah.
school, and it's just crazy. And I just had to turn around like, yo, stay your age. What are you doing?
There's no
Like,
kids nowadays. I feel like want to grow up so quick because they feel like, oh, I hate school, I hate this, blah blah blah.
is that
But like, but you don't realize there's no rush to grow up, man. It ain't easy for themselves.
it's a culture, bro. The culture is being it's being hypersexualized. Everything
Yeah.
from music, listen, music, television, movies, video games, you name it. It's being hypersexual. It's not even over. It's being hypersexualized to the point
Yeah.
that most of the stuff that they got. I mean, let's be honest. Even porn is extremely accessible for
Oh
anybody.
yeah.
It's
Anybody.
extremely accessible, bro. You got that black and orange website that everybody knows, bro. Is extremely accessible for anybody. So
Well,
and
it's crazy
let's be
because like,
honest, you have a cell phone, and
oh yeah.
honest to God, how many parents control and monitor their kids' stuff online? Is very few and far in between, that the parents have a degree of control over what their kids watch and consume
Oh
when
yeah.
it comes down to social media.
And kids will find it
And
nowadays because kids are so
it's
technology
crazy.
savvy. They'll find a way. They'll
Of
find a way to
course,
get,
of
bro.
course, of
On
course.
TikTok, I saw this one girl. This one, I think the mom posted it. She's like, "I've been," and I didn't know. I knew to like Samsung. We all know is a great company. They make so many things. So this mom had a like. I think the kid was like 13, 14, maybe 15 even. 13 to 16. Let's just say around somewhere around there. And the kid did something stupid, and so the mom took the phone away. So then it's like, you're not gonna have your phone for a while. This is what it is. You're grounded for a month or whatever it is. No phone, so no texting your friends. What happened next? So the kid had a Nintendo Switch. Kid went to the Switch, started texting friends from there. I didn't know you could do that. You can start texting your friends from there. Kept messaging. Mom found out, took that away. Then they went to then they went from there to the Xbox or something. They started texting from there. The last one that they finally went to before the mom made sure, this is when the mom realized, okay, I need to check anything with an internet connection. No, this kid was texting their friend from the refrigerator.
Oh, those new smart
Yes,
refrigerator.
the smart refrigerator. They
What?
were texting their friend from that, and they would wait when the mom was there. They'd be in the kitchen all the time getting food, and they were texting on the thing. I was like, bro, this kid was desperate for talking to. They'd sit there and they're texting their friends on there, sending
Because
pictures, like it
technology,
was nothing.
bro, technology nowadays is like cocaine. It's like
Yeah.
cocaine, bro. I don't know, like honestly, like for the past few days, like my phone was disconnected, my service was disconnected, and that's why I told you guys, like, oh guys, I can only talk to you when I get home, because I get connected to the Wi-Fi. But I felt so liberated that I was able to sit on my car. I like, no lie, bro, like to just think for myself for a split second, that
Not to relax.
I had no phone calls coming in, no text messages coming in, no notifications about TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, anything, bro. And it felt so good that I'm like, bro, I can think, bro. Like, it felt so good. But and I really didn't feel like I needed to crave to like conversate or anything like that.
Yeah,
But and it felt good, like your brain can breathe for a second, because like nowadays we get hyper bombarded with all this social media, and like you need to be connected. Like you, how many
facts,
times do you
facts.
just put your phone down and then immediately, not even like a minute after, you have to pick it up for no damn reason
Yeah,
because you had a weird notification and it was like a random email and like, oh,
yep.
well, it was nothing. Oh no, it was nothing. It's like, put it down.
I
Put
saw a
it
few people had
down.
ideas of like when you have like parties, they say we're gonna have a party, but we want to really socialize. So they let everyone know. There's one girl I saw on TikTok years ago where she's
Confiscate
like,
their phones.
confiscate the phone. Everybody put your phone in the basket. No one uses your phone unless it's an emergency. And even then, if there's an emergency, have the person call the house phone. If there's an
Yeah.
emergency, go ahead and give the number. And like other than that, everyone puts. And then people, they're like all the people like they asked like, oh, how'd you feel about this party? Blah blah. Like it was amazing. Like I didn't have
Yeah,
to pay
like,
attention to my phone.
please socialize in
Freedom.
real life. IRL people, IRL in real life. Like you guys can have long conversations on the phone, but the moment that you take the phone as a medium to conversate, it's like you guys got zero like brain activity to actually have a regular
Yep.
conversation with a live human being. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's beyond
Now,
crazy.
going back to the whole like access of internet and stuff, like you were saying before, the one thing I've noticed, and this is the part where a lot of y'all are probably gonna agree with me, a lot of females, but I feel like I don't know what the actual percentage is, but like I've seen a lot of females who like, bro, I don't think if you get 200 women in a room, I think out of those 200 women, and this is me just taking a wild guess, but this is how much I think it's. I honestly think this is true. I think out of like the 200 women in a room, if you put 200 women in a room, all different ages, 18 and older, I feel like 80, 80 of them, maybe even 90, would have an OnlyFans. Would have an OnlyFans. Majority of a lot of women nowadays haven't. That's I've seen teachers who they did it on the side and they say I shouldn't get fired. That's something I do in my personal time. Like
I've seen that in the news. I've
yeah,
seen that in the
yeah,
news.
your
Like
personal
teachers that
time
have
is your
OnlyFans.
personal
Yeah.
time, and you shouldn't be judged what you do on your own personal time as long as it doesn't affect your job. If you're a great teacher and you decide to do that, that's on you. But it's also one of those things where like you can't get mad, people. Women, you can't get mad because if you're at a job and they have a, if you work at a job and they have a, you work at a hospital. There's nurses who have gotten caught and they've gotten fired. You work at a hospital and you're doing that. They have a reputation to keep up. They don't want their thing, and people don't think of it in that point of view. Like as a business owner, I don't want someone who has a shirt on representing my business. Ooh, excuse me. Represent my business, and then I find out that they're going out drinking and they're getting in these huge fights, and they have a shirt, and people know who they are. They're wearing, their work uniform or something to that effect, and they find out, oh, you work there. Then it makes my business look bad because it's like, how can I look at, I feel like most women, and this could be me, but I'm like, from what I've done research online, from what I've seen, most girls, the minute they turn 18, instead of getting a regular job and working their ass off, are going straight to OnlyFans.
I
Straight to
mean,
OnlyFans.
it's just because, like I said, it's because everything is hypersexualized. So sex sells. That's why the porn industry is a multi-billion industry. Because sex sells, regardless of it. Whether you sell toe pics to underwears in a bottle,
Yep.
like you've seen it all. And like I seen stuff where people talk about I sell farts. Like what you do?
I
What?
literally just saw that like today,
That
actually today, before we
that is
started recording
crazy.
this.
It's
That
like
Bell,
you
whatever her name
sell
is.
farts.
Yeah, bro, the girl Bell something from Twitch. She sold her bathwater. It
No,
sold out in
no.
3 days, bro. 3 days, my dude.
First of all, whoever does that, you're sick. Seek help. There is a
¿Cómo carajo tú
mental
vas a
issue.
comprar agua del baño? Eso es sucio. How you gonna buy water? That's dirty, bro. And
They
here,
need help.
it's
You
bad
need to
that she's
seek
doing it, but
medical
the
help.
worst part is, who's buying this?
Exactly.
Who's
Somebody,
buying
people that
this,
need meds. You need meds. You need to be
bro?
institutional. You need to be in an institution. You need to be locked up because of padded walls. Because there ain't no way that a,
Facts,
a,
bro.
a, a mind that is sound, bro, can be doing that. But like I said, it's just because everything is so hypersexualized that it's easier for them to sell booty than to use whatever. It's because, bro, school nowadays is just a waste of time for kids because they don't like. First of all, they don't like learning. They think that everything that is in school is just plain and simple lame. It's
Yep.
like you not even want to have basic knowledge of anything, because I can ask a high school student to tell me their freaking timetables, and I can guarantee you that I'll get a high percentage of them that they don't know the timetables from 1 all the way to 12. When that was something that was like drilled into our brains from the time
Yep.
that we started doing numbers all the way to the graduated. Like you guys, what are y'all doing? You guys got all this stuff and all this technology and all this knowledge at your fingertips, at your disposal, and now it's so common for you that you just throw it away because everything is like
Bro.
social media. I don't want to learn nothing because I can be an influencer, or
Yep.
I could be a TikToker, or I could be a YouTuber. Like, bro, like I have skills that aside from this podcast, I can use in the real world to do anything. I can go ahead and leave my job right now and I can find me another job in a matter of hours
All right.
because my
Well,
skill because of my own personal skills. Now, what this younger generation has for skills, actual
OnlyFans.
skills. Let's say that the worst case scenario, the internet goes boom, bye bye, major shutdown. And I know there was a movie or a couple movies that talk about like cyber attack where they shut the whole thing down and
Yeah.
and everybody is off the grid. What would they do then?
Bro, it's crazy the education system nowadays. I mean, it's already bad enough where the United States is like really low. We're not even top 10 when it comes to
No.
intelligence of education system. But it's crazy because like, I mean, I checked this out like maybe 3 years ago, give or take, maybe more. I don't know. But last time I checked, um, there's only 5 states left that are still teaching cursive.
Oh
Only
yeah.
5 states. Most states have taken that out, and then on top of that, it's just like, bro, I feel like kids are just dumb nowadays. The U.S. especially, kids, especially more nowadays, kids are just lazy when it comes to learning. Like I personally, this is one thing I do believe, and to this day, like when I do have a child, I plan on enforcing this. I don't care. My wifey got mad, but I was like, I'm kind of the person. I'm like, when I have a kid in school, if they're like, if I don't homeschool my kid by then, because right now schools are pulling some crazy shit right now. But like, I'm the
True.
kind of parent that
True.
like, I don't agree. I don't believe in homework. I don't believe in homework. How is my kid gonna be in school for 6 to 8 hours a day and then
And
come
still
home and
gotta
have
go.
another
We
4 hours
still
of
gotta
school?
come. Exactly. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't. I don't.
like,
I don't. I
like you
don't.
know what? Like it's not. And some people are like, well, that's just you being a lazy parent or blah blah. It's like no,
No.
you're supposed
No.
to learn this in school. They've actually proven there are studies that show homework has no benefit and it doesn't. It actually
No.
causes more stress,
I mean,
not just for the students but for the parents.
look at some countries in Europe, my guy. There, I seen that. I seen the videos and I seen the documentals about that, bro. There's a lot of countries in Europe that when school is over, and I'm talking about they're not even spend like 8 hours like they do here in most Hispanic countries. They only go to school maybe like 4 or 5 hours tops. There's no homework.
Yep.
There's no nothing, and those are the education systems that are like top tier.
Yep.
We talk about top tier like educational systems and all this other stuff. It is like why? And I think it's just because the United States is not just a regular country; it's a very commercial country. So
It
we
is.
are
It
we are
is.
building people to be workers. So in order
Yeah.
for you to have a legion of workers, you need to keep them inside a box. And that's the problem that we have now. And a lot of people, and especially, and I gotta give it to the new kids because the new kids are like, I don't want to be in that box. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So they're smart enough to think that, yeah, I don't want to be in that box. But at the same time, you need to have some type of skills too. You know, you cannot
Yeah.
just be like, I want freedom, but I'm still dumb as hell, so I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like it makes no
Bro.
sense. You gotta have one with the other. You cannot just escape the person
Yeah.
that you saw and then be like, but what do I do next?
Well, that's the thing. Like, especially nowadays, I feel like kids it's crazy the education system that we have nowadays. It's just kids are dumb, and it's not, and I don't even blame the teachers because the teachers are so overworked. Like our teachers don't get paid enough. They need to get paid more. Our classes needs to be smaller, and unfortunately in the hood and stuff like that, you
That's
have
right.
these huge classes with like 40 students. A
Yeah.
teacher can only do so much with what's provided, so
Listen,
it's not nothing.
that's not even the teachers, bro. That's everybody.
Yeah, that we love
Everybody
our
is
teachers.
is
I had
is
teachers.
underpaid and overworked.
Oh yeah, I had a
It's
teacher like the
crazy.
school I went to, the town I went to. I lived in military housing. It was Needham, Massachusetts. We had it was a 2,000 plus students, and But the teachers, like, even with that, they made sure, like, you could tell, at least for the teachers I had, they were like, they gave a damn. Like, they did their best, and like they did amazing job. I had a lot of teachers. My history teacher, both the male and the female one, I was in her class in a heartbeat. But even my, like, I had a male teacher, Mr. Smith. Oh God, I have a horrible memory, but this dude was like, he was interactive. Like, this dude was just amazing. And then I had an English teacher who he taught us everything about English, including poetry, but he made everything fun. On top of it, this dude was a martial artist. He took, like, I think it was karate. I think, like, he was an avid martial artist. But this dude, you could tell he cared about his students. Like, it was the teachers at that school, but that's, that was also a school that they were a college prep school and a sports prep school. Like, we had a lot of students there. I forgot his name. We had a student there who went to the 49ers. They were big on sports. So, like, but then again, the town that we lived in was a millionaire town, so they had money. So that's why the education system was good. I got lucky to go there because I lived in military housing and we went in that town. And then the other students, not including me and 6 students who we all lived in military housing. The rest of the black kids, all the Hispanics and all, they came from inner city Boston. I'm talking about, like, inner city. And the reason they were there is because they traveled an hour to get there. Is because they had I can't remember the name of the program. It started M something, but it was an inner city program that they had that they wanted to try to get students who lived in the hood and stuff to go to a good school and afford them an opportunity. And so they came in from the inner city. They would have a bus that specifically went to inner city, pick up the kids early in the morning, early, and they got them and they drove them to the school. So all the minorities, if they weren't from the military housing, came from the inner city. But these kids who got and this shows that it is dependent upon where you live and the opportunities you get. People say, no, you can make something out of yourself if you actually do it. People make this excuse that, oh, minorities are too focused on that. It's not that you don't have the opportunities, it's you just being lazy. No, these kids got awarded the opportunities to do it. They were able to go from the hood to this school, which, had the best of the best. And guess what? Most of the kids who are there, a lot of them I still talk to now, have jobs that are paying them $90,000, $120,000 a year. Like, they have a good life, good foundation. Like, they're doing phenomenal. But that's only because they were awarded that opportunity. So it's one of those where that's why it's like, and the teachers didn't have to stress because the teachers were getting paid well. The school made sure they did good. And so it was one of those where, like, it sucks when teachers are trying to teach and they have that fulfillment that I want to make kids better, but they don't have the opportunity because most teachers are overworked and underpaid, and it's not fair to the teachers.
It also goes down to the parents, bro. Is like the attention that the parents give to the kids nowadays is just like they don't check on their kids. They don't look at their progress. A lot of parents don't even know what the kids' grades are, and then they just worry about, like, is he going to graduate? And then a lot of states also, they have all this, like, oh, just moving to the next grade, moving to the next grade, moving to the no. If he's dumb, if he's like underperforming in school, make him repeat the grade so he can understand that you're not graduating until you get your stuff right. It's crazy. It's just like, what are you rewarding piss poor but I don't know, it called me a conspiracy theories, but it's just part of the whole thing to just continue to keep a lot of these kids ignorant. So the areas that are like underprivileged, like the hood and stuff like that, stay the way they are, because the hood is where you have all your trade schools where these kids used to learn how to do a carpenter, an electrician, a construction worker, and they give them all these doggone skills, and now they just taking them all away from them, you know.
Yep.
And now
Fact. And that's the sad part,
what
is
do they
that you'll
have?
find trade schools where, the sad part is that the trade schools are considered because, oh, well, these kids aren't smart enough to go to a regular school, so we'll give them trade schools where they can still learn it, but they'll do the trade thing. Honestly, I think trade schools are one of the best things. I think schools need classes that they teach people how to cook, how to do their bills and stuff. Kids nowadays don't know how to handle money. I think a lot of the essential stuff, I wish I would have had that. I got lucky.
Because the education system do not teach any kids financial anything.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear about Oregon? Did you hear about Oregon?
No.
They just passed a law. I'm going to read it here. It says, Oregon again says, this is a new thing they passed in Oregon. This is, for y'all who don't know where Oregon is, it's right above Washington and California. It's on the West Coast. Oregon says students don't need to prove mastery of reading, writing, or math to graduate, because it's they quote that it's citing harm to students of color. So if you're not great at reading, writing, and math, you can still graduate as long as you're able to do really, really, really basic. You can still graduate because they think it's not fair to students of color, bro. So now you're saying, okay, stay student. So it's like it's good that they're trying to help students of color, like Hispanics and Latinos, and all this stuff graduate. But here's the problem: you're just
How is
making.
that a help? How is that
Well,
a
no,
help?
it's good because from what I know, and please don't call me on this, y'all, because I don't know the numbers on it, but a lot of kids, if you're a minority in the hood and stuff, it's harder for you to graduate, especially depending on where you live in your household and all that stuff. There's different factors. So it's good that they're trying to help kids graduate more, but it's not good though, because if you can't do if you don't need to understand complete reading, writing, and math, how are you going to live life? Like, it's actually pushing students of color like us back.
Yeah,
Being Puerto Rican, they tell you need to really learn to read. What do you do now? How are you going to go to a job if you don't know how to read well? If you don't know how to do math? If you don't know how to write?
Let's make it extremely basic.
Yeah, like
how you going to read the back of the box of the stuff you're trying to cook? How you going to follow simple instruction about, like, put it this way, a ramen, like a ramen cup or something like that, that a lot of kids from college want to eat or whatever now, because the struggle meals. So if you cannot even read the instructions of how much water you need to put in, how long you got to put it in the microwave, this, that, and the third, what you mean they don't need to know basics? So you don't need to know basic math, so you know that 3 minus 2 equals 1 type of thing.
Yep.
It's like, so how do I do? No, bro, it's just crazy. The fact that they just want to reward like underperforming and ignorance is just beyond me.
Mm-hmm. It says Oregon just dropped all graduation standards, failing all of its students in the name of equity. So they're trying to make sure that they're good. But this is the thing, this is where
that is wild.
The white savior thing kind of comes in, like, hey, we want to help students of color. Like, they're trying to do something better for us, but they're not seeing it's not something better for us. Mira, siendo de Puerto Rico y tú de Panama, it's one of those things where when you come here, most of the people, like a lot of people I know friends who are from other countries that they're smarter than people here. When people take their what do you call it, their the green card test, like to become an actual citizen here, they learn, like, bro, I know Americans who, if they actually said you can't stay here if you don't know all the stuff that people
the history, the history of the country,
bro, most Americans would not pass it, bro. People who come here to become official citizens of the U.S.
They study hard. Just it's crazy.
They know more than Americans do. So if that was a thing, most Americans would be out of here. They wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
Most Americans would be out of here.
If your citizenship was based on that stuff, most Americans don't know their own damn history. Like, can you name all 50-something presidents that we got? No, they cannot. No, they cannot.
Nope. Most of these people, and that's the thing, is like, they want these people to learn it, but people who are naturally born here, bro, they don't know half the stuff.
Ask them now. Who's Benjamin Franklin? All you're gonna get is the guy that is in the $100 bill.
Yep. Facts.
Now, question is, if the presidents were in the bills, it was Benjamin Franklin a president?
They wouldn't know, bro. The kids nowadays.
Leave it in the comments. Leave it in the comments. Was Benjamin Franklin, was he a president?
And don't Google it.
Don't Google it.
Don't none of that stuff. Ask your child here, for all you people in here who have kids, ask your child who that person is. Ask your 16, 17-year-olds. I guarantee you, most of them, they'll answer like he said, oh, it's a person on this bill. They won't name or even ask them, what's one noteworthy thing that Benjamin Franklin did? What did he do? Or Abraham Lincoln or this? Most of them will not know. It's crazy how stupid. I love those videos where the people are like an American guy goes up to another American person, whoever it is, and says, okay, name me 4 countries. And I've literally heard one girl was like, name 4 countries. And one girl was like, Italy, Florida. I was like, no.
I see that, bro. Yo, the naming states, bro. And there was another one too. Bro. They talk about like, oh, can you name all the continents, bro? I was
I love that
baffled, bro.
video,
I was like, I cannot believe you
bro.
outside in society and you not even know something as basic as the continents of the
Los
planet you
niños
live on.
ahora mismo son más brutos que, oh my god, bro, son malísimos, yo.
That is
Kids nowadays
insane.
are just dumb, bro. They're just dumb, bro. Do you see that video? This one went viral. This high school student went up to other high school students. He's like, he had an analog clock. He's like, tell me
Oh
the
yeah,
time on that. I think
the
it was like
time. Yeah, yeah,
nine and
yeah,
six.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
The
girl was like, the girl was like, oh, it was like it was early in the morning when school started, and she's like, oh, he's like, what time does this clock say? And it was something along the lines of like, let me see. She's like, oh, that would be 9, and this would be this. She's like, oh, 9:75, and the girl's like, yeah, 9:75. I was like, she did not just say that, bro. I
Yo,
was like, no,
the clock be at 9 and the other one be at 7. You be like 7 9, seven.
bro. I was like,
What?
no,
Yo, oh no! I'm
no,
like,
like,
no, no, no. We have failed our kids, bro, because
bro,
this is insane that they cannot even read a clock. That's crazy.
bro.
People cannot read this. You cannot read this. And this look, and this is even worse because this not even have the actual numbers. So if you
Yeah,
don't know your time, we got a problem. It's crazy. It's
bro. It's
insane.
like, yeah, there's kids education nowadays, you know. So like we were saying before, like I love our teachers. Our teachers do so much, and for the teachers who are sticking to it and doing what they got to do, you're doing amazing. For the teachers who are out there sleeping with younger students, do better. Get somebody your own. Do better. Now, for
Teach
me
yourself.
personally, as a 15
Teach
year old,
yourself.
if my teacher would have let me, I'm gonna be real with you. I have like 17 kids by now, but like that's from the male point of view. But like seeing it as an older adult, I see where as a kid, it's like, bro, like I'm trying to hit, you feel me? But like as an adult, it's like that's just wrong. Like I can see where it's wrong. You feel
Yeah,
me? But like,
you got to stop that on its track. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a little more
yeah,
responsible than that, bro. Like,
yeah, I don't like it's
nah.
people nowadays, the mentality of a lot of things, and we'll talk about a lot of mental stuff in future episodes, y'all. But like in terms of that, like where's your mind at? Like, and it's crazy because like you think, oh well, I've heard some people say in some comments like, oh, she must have had a bad marriage, and you find out like they had bad marriages that they didn't feel loved enough, and blah blah blah. It's like, okay, if you're gonna cheat, do it with someone of age.
Yeah,
Of age.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't be
If
a
you're gonna
cougar.
do it anyway, do it with someone of age.
Don't be a cougar. Don't be a cougar.
Yeah, like they went, bro, 30 years of jail because you want us some D from a young kid. Like that doesn't work, bro. It doesn't work.
Stay your age. Stay your age, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Stay in your age. All
Stay
right.
your age.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of life, though. Like, yeah, unfortunately, the education system. I had a great education. I got besides getting homeschooled. Like my teachers were like, I love my teachers to death. Like they
Listen,
were amazing. I had a Spanish teacher with them.
we come from a time where we didn't have Google because we saw the birth of Google, but at the same time we used to go to we used to go to the libraries and actually
Yes.
learn from books. You know what I'm saying? Like kids nowadays don't even want to read books. So
Wait.
You put a book
Do you remember?
in front. Oh, you put a
Do you
book
remember
in front.
Encyclopedia Britannica? You remember Encyclopedia
Yes,
Britannica?
yes.
3,000 volumes. You wanted to
Seven
know something, you had to check it.
17,000 books and you gotta go, okay, I gotta and go read and go check. I remember when you used to go something in Panama, we call them the croquis. For those who from Panama, el croquis, where you used to go and had to draw a map and separate it like in Panama used to put like all the provinces of Panama, so you had to
Yeah.
separate and draw all the provinces and name the province and the main city and all this. Bro, we used to put work on it so you can learn about your own damn country.
Oh, wow.
Now it's just crazy. It's just like the stuff that we saw in the video. Can you name all 50 states and all their capitals? I bet you I can put money on the line that they can't do that. They'll name all kind of crazy stuff. They don't know that.
Bro, they don't know continents and countries. They're not, bro. When I saw that, bro, like name 5 countries, and they started naming states. I was like,
Oh yeah,
bro, like how?
yeah.
Like there's dumb, and then there's just like stupid. There's just stupid, bro. Like how are you?
It's just so crazy because it's like they're smart in some stuff, but bro, they're dumb in some like
That's why I do like TikTok, because TikTok, a lot of people don't know this, but TikTok has a STEM part. You can activate it and deactivate it. I know Android. I don't know if it's automatic on Android, but I know STEM is like science, technology, English, or electricity. I don't know, something in math. I forgot what it stood for, but it's literally the educational side of TikTok. And actually, we'll do reactions later and show you guys this on another video. But it's literally all educational stuff on there. It's nothing but educational stuff. So if you go to the science part, then you'll start seeing a lot of the science things. And then I go to it every now and then, and I got to remind myself of it, because I actually learn a lot of stuff. Like, I'm like, oh man, like. And the funny thing is, in I believe, if I remember correctly, in China, they limit how much you can actually be on the entertainment side of TikTok, and you can go on the STEM side a lot. Like that's automatic. You can be on there all the time, and they limit their stuff, which I think honestly it's good. But they're like, bro, you're just learning. I go on there, and sometimes I'll just stay on STEM side only, especially because like you have so much stuff on your feed, it's annoying. So I like to get some intelligent stuff so I can keep learning and growing as a human.
Yeah, you're saying if you haven't learned anything today,
yeah,
we have a problem. You need to learn something every day, bro. Life is so complex, and it has so much stuff going on in life that if you have gone through the day and you haven't learned a thing, we have a problem. We have a problem. It's not the new TikTok dance. Right. It's not the whole I want to be a what they call those things, like when they try to act like animatronic, whatever they try to act.
AI.
Yeah, they try to act like they're animatronic or something like it.
The NPC, the
non-playable character. There you go. You try to be a video game character, like, come on, be serious. You try to be a computer character, like, come on.
I saw this girl. She's like, somebody gave her a cherry. She's like, a spicy thing. She's like, that's spicy. That's spicy. I was like, stop. Just. Like do you get your bag, you feel me? But like when it comes down to the point that you just gotta act like enough and just do that, like I would take that stupidity over someone going to OnlyFans, because that, like we said before, people only want to do OnlyFans and act a fool. But that's the beauty of life and what we're dealing with now, and that's education. So shout out to all our school teachers, principals,
shout out to the
people who are trying to really get out there. What do you guys think needs to be better done in schools? Write that below. That's another question we're going to ask. I feel like our schools and teachers are just way overworked. But yeah, it's going to be crazy though. So,
we as parents, we need to help these teachers too. We as parents, we need to help these teachers, because you guys cannot just drop everything on the teachers. We got a job as well to do at home. We need education starts at home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Home education. You need to be part of that. You need to be involved more with your kids and just giving those core values that they need to have in society, because kids are extremely wild and outside. Is just so crazy, the stuff that you see from this younger generation towards the older generation, and to any other adult in general, and to themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like other peers about the same age, the way that they treat each other, it just blows my mind. It's just like the lack of respect and decency is just beyond me. You know what I'm saying? And the sense of entitlement that they have nowadays is just, it blows my mind. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So that was always fun, always. But yeah, that's our little thoughts on that. But yeah, okay, everybody, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up on this episode. Once again, thank you for tuning in to the second episode of Latinos Unfiltered Podcast. We really do hope you enjoyed these conversations, the fun, the craziness, the facts, our opinions, whatever it is that we had there. Laughed a little bit, maybe you laughed a lot, maybe even learned something new that you guys didn't know about whatever it is that we talked about.
And yeah, bro, you got to remember, though, life is too short just to stay ignorant and not to have a good time as well. So, something, until next time, you got to keep vibing, stay curious, and, with a thirst for knowledge, and keep those cafecitos brewing, because you're going to need it, because you're going to be staying up late.
If you haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't ever miss an episode, because you know what? We're going to have a lot of crazy conversations. Some stuff you guys might agree on. Some stuff you might not agree on. Sometimes you disagree, agree, whatever it is. like I said, turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode. We're here to keep it real, keep it unfiltered, keep it 100% legit, tell you how we feel. We want you right there with us as we grow, as we become the #1 podcast in the world for crazy people, for all people, with just realism and all happiness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Make sure that you put all your questions and concerns or whatever you want in the comments. We'll make sure that we watch them. So, familia, this is Mr. M2J and your boy Poetic in another episode of Latinos Unfiltered. So, hasta luego, familia.
Peace.